Hello everybody, it's Aaron. Welcome to another episode of Feed the Beast. I've made a couple of changes around here I want to show you. First thing, I took someone's advice, I don't remember who it was, and I don't think I showed this before, so I'm going to show it now. I used some facades on the ME cable to kind of hide them. These are glass facades, and this is a stone facade. If I did this in the other episode, please forgive me, but I'm re-recording this one because I made some shocking discoveries that are really going to come in handy in the next few episodes. Basically, I just automated the production of silicon cells. I put a level emitter and an export bus for sand. So basically, when I have less than 16 silicon cells in the silicon plates in the system, it sends sand to the electrolyzer. All the silicon cells go to the blast furnace automatically, and then it turns off. So I almost always have one sitting in here because that's when the system turns off. No big deal. I did make that magic energy converter thing, and I'm not going to show it again because it was lackluster. It gives 24 EU packets, 1 per tick, 24 EU per tick. Nothing compared to the hybrid ultimate hybrid solar panels on the roof. I put another star in it for a total of 10 million EU, but it was in 24 EU packets. So not great. If I already showed this before, I'll go back and review. I'll cut it out. So on to what's happening right now. Let's go look at the bees again. If you hate bees, too bad. We're going to show some bees for a few more episodes, mainly the infrastructure that will be involved in setting up the bee base. Sam has just made a Mistcraft age for us to do our bees, and we're going to build our bases fairly close together. We're going to share some resources like seeds and wood for impregnated sticks and casings and such, but we're going to work that out. We're still kind of, it's a work in progress, but the valuable bees are so awesome. I have them running all the time, only 2 pairs. I've probably gotten more iridium from these guys in the last 2 days than I have from any 10 quarries put together, including ferrous. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm not going to run quarries for a while. I've got all the other bees, the rusty, all these guys give me all these awesome combs. Tin, copper, iron, titanium is in here somewhere. I also got the classical bees, which make more royal jelly than which one is it, the Imperials? Yeah, than the Imperial bees, but I have them both going. It seems like the alveary gives more products without frames than the apiaries do with frames. But even so, I'm running 6 frames in each alveary. I did a lot of experimenting with AE and alvearies, and unfortunately, it didn't really work out well. It seemed to always put the drones back in the alveary, or the apiary for that matter, but it had some trouble with the princesses. So I have the regular old apiarist pipe underneath. Both of these have an apiarist pipe, so all the bees go back into the alvearies. The excess bees and the combs and stuff go to a chest on an import bus under here, get sucked into the system, and the only ones I have processing right now are the platinum combs. The problem with this is there are way more than 8 combs and there are only 8 spots here. So we're going to have to get sort of creative with Buildcraft pipes, probably use routers and multiple centrifuges, since they are treated as one inventory. If they're touching, may not be a problem. We're going to work on that. That's one of our issues. Our other issue was I can use a router to put frames in the housings. I can also use export buses. However, you have to put an export bus on every single frame housing. It'll only work on the one it's touching. The export buses, as you know, take more AE power, so it's much more economical to do it with one router with a machine filter upgrade. I saw that in Hypnotize video. I actually have both of these connected underground with just regular old stone furnaces, and if I take a frame out, it puts a frame in, just like that. How I'm getting the frames here, I have a bunch of proven frames in my main AE system, and they all go through an export bus to this ender chest on the other end. This is good because it will not overflow, and I just put a storage bus on it. So if I look in the chest here, I cannot see the proven frames because I don't have a terminal. I can actually only see what's in the chest. So even though I don't have a terminal, this export bus has no problem sending either of those frames into the router to be put into the frame housings. So this is a pretty good way to do it. You don't have to mess with level emitters or any of that nonsense. It's just as many will fit in the chest, will buffer there. The rest of them sit in my other AE system, and everything is all good. So the other thing is power. We're going to need power for the bee machines. I don't want to make a whole nother power grid. So Sam and I were talking. He says, how about an energy bridge? So right here I have an ultimate hybrid solar panel with an MV, no, not MV, stupid Aaron, with an HV consumer, an energy bridge, and there's a BC producer underneath attached to the conduit. Well, this thing right here, it's not really doing anything right now because nothing is working. At the max, it output 210 MJ, which is awesome. So we'll do a for instance. I need to go ahead and, which one do I want to do? Let's do steadfast. I could use some more steadfast. And I don't really have anything to purify at the moment, unfortunately. We can do that one just to see it in action. So if I put here we go. I can do this one. High fertility, that's good. So I'm going to put this one in here, which takes 50 MJ. And I'm going to put this one in here, which takes 100 MJ. If we look at the energy bridge, we're using 158 MJ, and we're not even using 400 EU of the 512 that this thing will put out during the daytime. So I think that 200 MJ is plenty to run a bee base. These things don't run all the time, and they have a buffer, so that's pretty good. But if not, I can add one more HV consumer and put another hybrid there, or even an MV with a regular ultimate, or not regular ultimate, with a regular hybrid solar panel, and it should work okay. So one of the other challenges is we're going to have to use a lot of seeds and seed oil. So Sam set up a Steve's Cart wheat farm, which works. It didn't work great. I set up my old contraption with the two deployers, one with seeds, one with bone meal, and the block breaker, but this time I used AE for it. So there's an export bus that gives seeds to this one, an export bus that gives bone meal to this one, and then the block breaker puts it out into the interface. Eventually we're going to run out of bone meal, even though we have the mob grinder over there. Be kind of pointless to have to keep refilling the thing with bones. So I said, well, what if we make a watermelon farm? So that is exactly what we did, and I'm going to show you that right now. This is our bee age, if it'll load. Here we go. He made it with 5 biomes that are necessary. We have the desert, jungle, forest, river, and swamp. So we can do most of our native bees and all of that stuff. Down here I have some demonic bees going in the jungle. I gave them the temperature 2, the both 2 temperature serum. So they won't work in a forest biome, but they'll work here because it's hot. And they make the simmering comb and glowstone dust, which is pretty cool. I bred these in the nether with soul frames and apiaries. I didn't bother setting up the alveary with the mutator block. I happened to get lucky at each mutation and I got it. Granted, it's normally a 40% chance, but still, I consider myself pretty lucky. So, I want to make a bunch of these guys too. I want to make every single bee, like I said. So here's our watermelon farm. If you've been watching me long enough, you probably saw me do this in Tekkit. Most of you probably didn't see that, but you know, that's no big deal. We used to feed these into the energy condenser and trade the EMC for diamonds. But basically what this is a timer. We've got timer. Let me go down one more block. Timer, red alloy wire, jacketed wire, and then redstone tube. And redstone tube is just pneumatic tube with a piece of redstone. It makes one. So this is good because we don't have to run a line of redstone tubes and then a line of pneumatic tubes and then another line of redstone to pulse the block breakers. What happens is the redstone signal goes through the tube and it saves a lot of space. And it's set on like 30 seconds because this doesn't need to be super fast. There's a fabricator at the end that turns all the melons into seeds, and if you do this like this, you have to use an emerald pipe because if you get a few watermelon slices at a time, if you use a regular gate or a regular wooden pipe, sometimes you'll pull out the watermelon slices and you don't want to do that. So we just put the filter on the emerald pipe, which I can't get to with the gate on it, but that's no matter. We've got the watermelons on zirconium soil blocks. We don't know if that actually increases the productivity or not, but we figured what the hell, it's not that big of a deal. We're not using them for anything else. And of course these are block breakers. So if we feel like we need another row, we'll just run the redstone tube around, or maybe even stack them vertically and just kind of make a duplicate of this below or on the side of it. It is fairly unsightly and just kind of thrown together at the present time, but we just got in the world very recently, so we're trying to just kind of get things going. I think I want to put my base, let me go over here. I think I want to put my base over here, and I want to do part of it underwater. There's some deep water right there. I thought I could make a glass ceiling, maybe one level below the water, and then pump all the water out with a one of those red power liquid pumps, because it will actually remove the source blocks and put them somewhere else if we want. Or a mining turtle on excavate mode will actually destroy source blocks. The problem with that is they only work in a square, so that's kind of tricky over here. But I'm going to work on that. I'm still figuring out exactly how I want to lay it out. But as soon as I figure it out, then I will build my seed oil tank and my liquid DNA tank and probably a honey tank as well. This is all Sam's stuff over here. He's already moved his matter fab since it's always daytime here. I set up the Steve's Cart tree farm and the thing went nuts. I just set it up probably about maybe 4.5 hours ago. We already filled up a barrel. And since it's, I guess because it's always day here, I don't know, but the thing just went crazy. So I turned it off because there's no point in, you know, making more logs if we don't have anywhere to put them. I don't know if this is burning fuel or not, but I'm going to turn it off just because. So we've got plenty of logs for impregnated casings and sticks and stuff. I think you need logs for impregnated casings. We're going to have plenty of seeds for seed oil. And it looks like he was trying to make a little cocoa farm. so he can make chocolate frames. He looks like he's got a wall of them right there. Lucky for him, I've been through this, and I'm giving him a lot of advice. I wish I had this advice when I started bees. It would have made it a lot easier. But he's already well on his way. He's got quite a few cultivated, which is what he's going to need to get to the noble and industrious branches. So good for him. Bad for me. I guess he's learning from my mistakes. Next time I do it, it'll be much easier after figuring out how all this stuff works. So that's what's happening right now. Like I said, we're going to do a few more bee episodes, mainly tackling the logistics of, we're already making the seeds and we're already harvesting the wood. The problem is going to be getting it somewhere that we can do something with it, getting the frames to the bees, the products from the bees into a place where we can utilize them for other things. And I want to do that with applied energistics, but I'm not going to make another molecular assembly thing over here, so I may be sending stuff back and forth to the overworld, maybe like the ender chest thing, or we may be using fabricators like this. Not really sure exactly how I'm going to do it. I've got to actually lay out how my base is going to be, figure out where I'm going to put all my apiaries, because I'm still going to run a few of those, where I'm going to put the alvearies, and then where I'm going to put the tanks. And I've got some tesseracts already made, more liquid than item for some reason, but you know, I can always make a few more, and hopefully it'll work out relatively easily. I guess we'll see. So that's that. We got a couple more bee episodes to go, and then after that I'll probably only show you like when I get something really cool like a distilled bee or one of those that makes oil or fuel. I don't even know what they make, but just something cool. If I get diamond bees, obviously I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to run whatever I need more in the alvearies. So like right now I need a lot of iridium, so I have the platinum bees going, but if I need oil or something or more lava, you know, I'll run the simmering comb. I believe you can squeeze the phosphor you get from that with sand for lava. So that's not a bad deal either. So I think that is going to do it for this episode. If you guys have any questions or comments, man, these guys aren't done yet. Almost. I don't have any frames in there. I just wanted to test if they'd work. I put the temperature tolerance on it, and it didn't work in the plains biome. And then somebody posted something on Reddit, and I replied with a question, and the guy was really nice to answer my question and said that the hellish biome is 3 hotter than the plains biome. So they'll work in a desert or a jungle. Luckily, I just happen to have a jungle right here, so I can run them here with no problem. So anyway, that'll do it for this episode. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, etc., please let me know. If you're sick of the bee stuff, let me know as well. And I'll work on some other stuff on camera and just do this in my own time, because I want to do this because I'm having a lot of fun with it. But if you hate it, please post a comment, let me know. No more bees. And if I get enough negative comments about bees, then I'll just not do any of it in episodes. I'll just do it on my own. So that's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.